are now listening to the Life of Produk Podcast.
Yeah. What up, man? It's the boy Product. You're now locked into the Life of Product Podcast. It's episode 46, man. Shouts out to everybody that rock with episode 45 and 44. I got some really, really good feedback. I got some good news for everybody. I told y'all the listenership is growing. More platforms are picking up the show. We are now on Odyssey. Shouts out to Odyssey, man. I didn't think they was going to rock with the kid. I thought they was going to do like some type of review process and be like, nah, we don't know about him. He cursed too much. But yo, they fucking with the boy. I appreciate y'all. Yo, this is episode 46. Episode 46 is titled Two Cousins Part 2. Shouts out to my cousin Damien for coming back through. Welcome to the show again, brother. What's good with you?
Man, nothing, just hanging in there, man.
Back. Yo, listen, man, what's the pandemic like up back in New York right now? Because you know I'm out of town. Everybody that listens to the show, they know I'm out of town. And I'm hearing y'all going back on lockdown. What's good with that?
No, like for now, no lockdown again. I honestly don't think the city wants another lockdown.
Good, because I'm coming back soon. I want to get it in. Good. That's great news. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, everybody, there's so many rumors about another lockdown coming. The Omicron is here. I'm hearing now in the restaurants up there, even if you're vaccinated, you have to wear masks again. Is that true?
It might be. They've kind of gone back to putting like certain restrictions in place in the last like 2 weeks because of the whole Omicron variant. But my whole thing is, it's like everybody, they pushing the panic narrative. And it's like, I'm hearing doctors saying, because there's so much information out there, I'm hearing doctors saying the flu is worse than the Omicron. So when coronavirus first hit, the whole big deal was, oh, it's worse than the flu. So if we're a year and a half later and it's not as bad as the flu anymore, that's progress. Like that should be the narrative. So
I'm gonna keep it real with you.
You know what I mean? It's you just never know.
Man, I don't believe none of this shit. I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, it ain't real. It's real. Motherfuckers really died and people have really been sick. I caught it. Thank God it wasn't bad. Like when I had it, it literally felt like a head cold for me. I was stuffy. Literally, like I think almost 2 weeks after testing positive for COVID, I was testing negative for it. I was right back out doing my thing. But you know what I'm tired of? Why they keep naming these COVID variants after like fucking sororities, like the Delta shit? Are we gonna have the Kappa variant? If the Kappa shit come, we fucked.
Yeah, that's kind of like that's why I'm like, yeah, I just like I try to pay it as little mind as possible because it's just like for me, I have too many questions that don't get answers. Like you got Delta, Omicron, Ultron, Thanos. Like, come on.
Yo. Son, if Thanos come and snap the fingers, we're done. We don't even got no real life Avengers. Who gonna be the Avengers? That dude that be doing the self-defense classes on IG? We got him. He coming through for us. Nah. Yo, real talk. We should take some class. Yo, what up? It's good.
Yeah, I'm hearing it really works.
Really? But I don't want to test it because it look kind of fugazi. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to get shot and be like, yo, do I get a do-over? You know, I don't know, son, but it's weird, man. But yo, real talk, right? Okay, not that I don't want to focus too much on the pandemic because I'm totally tired of it. I'm ready to go back to real life. But there's some more fuckery that just hit the news within the last 24 hours. Did you hear about the whole dinosaur embryo that just came out? They discovered?
No, I didn't hear about that.
Yo, listen, man. I was about a minute into the article and I swiped off of that shit. I went on the CBS website. So apparently they just found like a dinosaur embryo or some shit like that. I don't know too much of the details, but how in 2021, at the end of 2021, y'all just finding a dinosaur embryo? How? A dinosaur? Yo, son, real talk. I'm not trying to be fucking Jurassic Park in 2022, man. That's not where I want to be. You know what I'm saying? So they need to give us the heads up if that's what's going to happen. Because all right, you know I'm the conspiracy king, right? But a lot of the stuff I do research on is facts. I used to read USA Today years ago. I used to read it religiously, like every day, right? So I read an article one time, and bear with me. You might think I'm crazy, but this was in you. I'm not making this up. So before you be like, nah, that's wild. Keith ain't make this up. Boom. So years ago, a little over 10 years ago, I read an article. This was in 2005, 2006. A lady, I forgot what town she was in, but the lady, her cat died. And there was like a little small team of students that were scientists at a big university there. So they go to the lady. The lady was very heartbroken over her cat dying. This is a true story. So they said to the lady, before you bury the cat, let us come into the house, and boom, boom, boom. They go into the house, they scrape samples of the dead cat. A few months later, They come back with a fully grown cat that was the same size as the cat that died. Now, this lady she was one of those suburban people that would take the cat out the house, bring the cat back in, shit like that, go grocery shopping with it. Every time the cat would come home, it would run through the living room and jump on the top of the couch or whatever. It was what the cat would do. They brought the clone cat home, and the clone cat did the same thing. The clone cat responded to its name as the first cat. The clone cat knew where its food bowl, water bowl, and cat litter was in the house. Doesn't that scare you?
This that sounds like a Black Mirror episode. I'm like,
yo, but it do sound like a Black Mirror episode. The crazy thing is my conspiracy theory is when they did this was around the time that the law was passed. I think Bush was still in office when he had passed that rule that they could clone cows or whatever and stuff. And this is around the time we started seeing stuff about mad cow disease. What if when you clone an animal, you're cloning their memories as well? What if there's memories in our DNA and we don't even know about it? Because if the clone cat knew its name, knew everything, knew the woman, then that's proof in that shit. Now, if we had a mad cow disease or cows was going mad around the time that law was passed, what if every time these fucking cows was regrown, they were seeing their deaths? You know what I'm saying? And it just made them go crazy. Imagine if you get killed and 10 times this week you was regrown and you seen that shit. How would you feel? You would go crazy, right?
It's like, look, all I can say is like life is scary when you really think about a lot of this stuff that goes on. Like it is just really, it's like I always say, like my motto for the last 2 years has been, life is a movie, man. Like this is it's the great, like it's the greatest movie of all time.
Yo, it's the greatest Steven Spielberg movie of all time. That's what we had to talk. This is like, yo, and I was reading it, man, and I was just blown away. Like, not even in a great way. Oh, this is cool. No, it's not cool. No, the fuck it's not cool. And we're eating these slaughtered animals that have been killed all these times. So, yo, it's scary. Now the fact that they found a dinosaur embryo, yo, I was reading an article about, it said 3 things that happened in 2020 nobody talks about. I don't know if you heard about it, but they found like a small dragon type dinosaur in Canada. They found a coin in Rome that said New Rome, and it was basically dated from years from now, and it was an old beat up real coin. That was kind of crazy or whatever. I don't necessarily believe that much, but another fact that happened, Japan built a big apartment building size robot. I don't know if you heard about that.
I think I did read that. I believe I did read that sometime.
Yes. Now, this year. Being as though that shit's like a Manhattan size apartment building that moves in real time. Like, so if I got the VR Oculus on and I'm throwing punches and kicks, my robot is gonna throw punches and kicks, right? Why would they make think about it? So that happens. A little over 12 months later, we're hearing about dinosaurs. So is these niggas preparing for like a real life Godzilla fight? Is that what's about to happen? Because I need to know. I need to know, man. Like it. Yo, son, think about it. Listen, I know the listeners be thinking I'm crazy. I don't even show y'all my DMs that people send me over this shit. I might share with y'all one day, but I believe in discrepancy. But for the people that think I'm crazy, these are actual facts. This nobody's making this up. You know what I'm saying? They had a real life robot, son. It was huge. I don't know if you've seen it, but it was huge. Be like, son, it looked like it was the size of Gary's building. You know? So nah, man. Look, man. If that's what's about to happen, I need to know what's popping right now. I need to know what city not to be in whenever the fight pop off. Real talk.
Like, but you see what I mean? Like, what I'm saying, it's like you could like Japan can build a building size robot.
Yes.
But a super flu is like kicking our asses.
Exactly.
Like, you know what I mean? Like it just doesn't. It's too. Like I said, it's too many questions, man. I got too many questions.
What? Yo, I got so many questions like you. My thing is, why the hell can y'all build an apartment building size robot, but we still have our phone slow down after our quote unquote free data, unlimited data is gone? I need answers. I need answers on that. Then apparently, I don't know if it's true or not, but I saw a picture of a big ass phone that looked like a brick, and it's saying Energizer built it. I don't know if that's facts, but that shit is huge. It's supposed to last for like a week or something like that. Fully charged with you using it. I don't want that shit. It looked like I'm gonna be walking around with a kilo in my pocket. You seen it? It's huge. It's huge. Yo, imagine you know how we all be on our phone at night. You ever dropped your phone and had to duck it, like dodge it, like you drop your phone? Imagine you drop that on your head. I'm good, brother. I'm good. I'll keep buying the same iPhone every year. Yo, listen, hold up. Shouts out to Inc., our sponsor and our distributor. We got to pay these bills. We will be right back with the Life of Product Podcast. Yeah, what up, man? It's the boy Product. We're now back with the Life of Product Podcast. Shouts out to Inc., man. They really doing right by the kid. Yo, shouts out to Drive Sneaker Promo. Shouts out to sleepandtrade.com. They were the last two sponsors for the last two shows, man. I appreciate y'all. Holla at the kid. Shouts out to my boy Danny, and shouts out to my boy Chris Cage. Chris Cage is one of the illest producers I've ever met in my life. I will put Chris in a beat battle with anybody. Hands down. Straight facts. Holla at me, my G. But yeah, we are back with the show. Episode 46, man. Yo, did you watch the Tyrone Woodley in the Jake Paul fight last week?
Nah, man, I didn't. I just saw the clips on social media.
Let me say this, right? The undercards were pretty good. I think the first fight was it was a dude from Puerto Rico and a dude from Australia or something like that. And the Australian dude dropped him the first round. He didn't like knock him out, but he knocked him down the first round. And what I thought was dope about it, they were both 21-0, never defeated, and the Australian dude ends up winning by a decision. You know what I'm saying? Numbers don't lie, especially when it comes to boxing. Numbers do not lie. But it was a great fight. They had that fight. The the Darren Williams and the Frank Gore. We gotta talk about that. Yo, man, listen, man. You know, I'm a huge Brooklyn Nets fan, and Darren Williams used to play for the Nets. He held it down for the Nets. So Darren Williams is my guy. That's my dude. I was going for Darren Williams just for the fact that I used to go watch him play in the Barclays, and he was really holding it down for the borough, for the city. That was quite interesting. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not gonna. Yo, shouts out to Frank Gore. I don't know if you saw all of the highlights, but Frank Gore got some good hits in there, man.
Yeah, most of the highlights. That's a shame because most of the highlights were basically the look on his face.
Yeah,
at the end of the fight when Darren Williams was really coming at him. Yeah, and it was like he looked shook. But I heard he's a tough dude. But I mean, it was just the highlights made him look bad.
Yeah, you know what? Too, it was okay. Here's one of my issues with boxing, right? I'm tired of I don't want to call it a mixed match fight, but I'm tired of these mixed match fights where you got these dudes that are somewhat taller than some of the dudes they're fighting. They're taller, the arm length is a little longer. So and Darren Williams actually has hands. Darren Williams, he used to wrestle. They're both athletes. He was using that to his advantage. I don't even think he hit Frank Gore with any body shots. I don't recall that. All I recall was him hitting Frank Gore with a lot of face shots, but they was landing. Frank Gore was getting hits in too, but Darren Williams was kind of using that to his advantage. I know you saw when he pushed him through the ropes, man.
Yeah, that's the big clip that was going around.
That was kind of. It was like, yo, sit down, little nigga, and he like. Yo, it was wild, man. It was wild, but it was a good fight. Everybody's sharing the video and the pictures of when Frank Gore wasn't paying attention and he just started rocking him.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I'm saying?
Yo,
in a boxing match, you have to be ready at all times. Until you hear that bell and that ref say break, you gotta be ready, man. You gotta be ready. Son, there was a fight after that. It was two females. There was a Puerto Rican girl from Brooklyn and another girl. I forgot her name, and she fought a girl named Gutierrez. Pretty good fight. The girl from Brooklyn kind of whooped the ass like the whole fight. But I kind of felt like, I don't want to say it's fixed because I don't want to take nothing from her, but I kind of feel like they knew she was going to, you know how they set up a boxer up with an anticipation fight and you know that boxer's going to win? She kind of beat the brakes off her. But I noticed there was a lot of promo footage and promo photos with her and Jake Paul. I think they said Jake Paul like handpicked or his team picked her for the fight or something like that. So maybe he has money behind her and whatnot.
But it sounds like it.
Yeah, you know how that go, but and that's not me taking nothing from her. She kind of beat the brakes off shorty, you know what I'm saying? She kind of looked ass, you know what I'm saying? But shouts out to the other girl too, man. Yo, listen, getting in the ring is not easy mentally or physically. It take a lot of heart to put gloves on and going in and knowing you're gonna get rocked. But we need to talk about this Tyrone Woodley and this Jake Paul fight, man. We need to talk about. Yo, real talk, right? You know our cousins DM group is popping. I need to get all of y'all on the call one day because there's some things we need to discuss. But we're going to talk about this right now. Do you think this fight was rigged? Somewhat?
That's what a lot of people are saying. I didn't see it, so I don't know. A lot of people feel like all his fights are rigged. A lot of people are saying that. So I don't really know for sure. Boxing, you never know, because boxing, as some people have said, some people involved in boxing have said it's the most corrupt sport in the world.
It is.
So you just never know with boxing.
You know what? And I'm not trying to take nothing from Jake Paul. Like Jake Paul, I think he's in really good shape. And I actually do think Jake Paul does have hands somewhat. He does. If you watch him fight, he actually fights like a person that's been in the gym or whatnot. But fam, here's my issue with it. Right now, I'm a big boxing fan. And this is not me targeting Jake Paul. This is me just keeping it 100 and giving my opinion. I respect him for training. I respect him for getting in there with actual athletes and fighting. I respect him for fighting an MMA fighter. He fought Tyrone Woodley twice. Then he fought Ben Askren, right? Or whatever. That was bullshit if we go back and watch that. My thing is this, right? Fam, I cannot respect the 5-0 fully when you have not fought a boxer. I can't fully respect the two. The second thing I can't respect, I can't fully respect you fighting dudes that are 10, 15 years older than you. Then I can't respect the fact that you're fighting people smaller than you. Like this, and nobody's really talking about this at all. Now, shouts out to him for training. Shouts out, he's a great marketer. His fucking trolling game is through the roof. And like I said, it takes a lot of guts and balls to get in the ring. But Nate Robinson is like 5-something. You know what I'm saying? He's in great shape, but he's 5-something. And Jake Paul training for 3, 4, 5 years, as opposed to Nate Robinson, who had 4 or 5 months to train. The two just don't equate, man. It doesn't.
That's the big problem. It's like, okay, like he does have hands. He's been trained by professional boxing trainers.
His camp is good.
Like
They're
you
really
said,
good.
he's fighting athletes, but as we saw with Mayweather versus Conor McGregor, McGregor's a fighter, but he's an MMA fighter. You step in a boxing ring, you're out of your element, and you're getting rocked by a boxer.
Absolutely.
So Jake Paul has been training for, like you said, several years, and these other guys just train for the time up until the fight.
Yes.
You're 5-0, you know what I mean? It's time for you to fight real boxers now.
That's what I'm
not saying you got to fight big marquee guys and multiple time champions, but you can fight guys who are in the same predicament where they've been training for years as boxers. Like he needs to start fighting those type of guys.
I'm tired of the bullshit. I was like, but now it was like, all right, this is bullshit. I'm tired of it. Yo, go fight a Danny Garcia or Keith Thurman. You know what I'm saying? Go fight one of those dudes. Fight. I want to see him fight an active, real boxer around his age, his size. That's what I want to see. Yeah. If Jake Paul can beat a fighter his age range, his height, his arm length, then I will respect him. I will 100% respect him. But come on, like Nate Robinson was running around the ring. He was running around the ring like he was on a basketball court. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like he went in the ring with Nikes on. No disrespect to Nate Robinson. I met Nate Robinson years ago. He was a really cool dude. And shouts out to him. I saw him at the airport. He had all his kids with him. I respect that man. But fam, like I don't think he was ready. Maybe he was ready, but it just didn't match. Like the fight didn't match. You was too small to get in that ring with him. Too small. Shouts out to Tyrone Woodley for getting Tyrone Woodley lost twice and took it like a man. That's what's up. I feel like this, right? And we all know, okay, that second fight happened because what's the name? Something Fury. What was Tommy Fury? Tommy Fury had an injury, got sick or something like that. Okay, that's fine. Tyrone Woodley took the fight last minute. That plays a part too. But my thing is this, right? You should have went with another fighter. I feel like Tyrone Woodley is a 5-time UFC champ. That's a 5-time UFC champ. Don't disrespect that man by putting him in a boxing ring. Get in the octagon with that man. Get in the octagon, and then we can really see who's a fighter. That's what I want to see. And that's another issue. My issue. Okay, before we take a break, we gotta take one more break, right? My issue with the whole boxers versus MMA fighters, right? If you're gonna have a boxer versus an MMA fighter, we need to make certain adjustments for the MMA fighters. They need to fight with MMA gloves. They need to let these MMA fighters throw punches, kicks, elbows, all that shit. I think they should be able to slam them. I don't think they should be able to do arm bars and chokeholds and leg bars because it takes years to learn how to get out of that. But let these fighters fight someone in their element. Stop making these MMA dudes box y'all. I don't think it's fair to them, honestly. It's a sport.
Yeah, I agree.
And I love both sports. I love both, but I just kind of think it's a little whack at a certain point. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because you put it like this, right? If we saw a boxer Saturday night, get in the ring with a UFC fighter, and he gets slammed, choked out, armbarred. You know, Stephen A. Smith would have had a field day with that. You know what I'm saying? They would have had a field day with that over there. You know what I'm saying? Someone, can you imagine Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless debating and arguing over that? Imagine that. Imagine that. We Skip Bayless would have came with the fuckery. but yo, let me go take a break real quick. Shouts out to Skip Bayless. Shouts out to Shannon Sharp. I love watching them dudes argue. It was like watching your drunk uncles argue at the cookout. Every day, whatever, every week. But yo, we will be right back with episode 46 of the Life of Produk Podcast. Yeah, what up, man? It's the boy Produk. We're now back with the Life of Produk Podcast, episode 46. This is Two Cousins Part 2. Shouts out to my cousin Damien on the line with me, man. Yo, man, you know what I'm looking forward to? I'm ready to go see The Matrix, the new one.
Yeah, it actually came out today.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna watch it this weekend. I'm not like The Matrix is a revolutionary movie. It kind of changed the way action movies were made for a while.
Back.
Like the first Matrix movie is a bona fide classic and still holds up to this day. And it's still kind of relevant if you like some conspiracy theorists, even more so today than they did back in the day, thinking like the life that we live in is a simulation. But the thing is, I'm a little like, the reason I'm not rushing to watch it is because the trailers were not as like, I'm a big movie guy. I love movies, and the trailer is not doing it for me as far as getting me hyped.
I can kind of feel you on that. Like my urge to see it is because I'm just like a Matrix geek. But when I'm gonna keep it real with you, when I watched the trailer when it first dropped, I was like, damn, I thought it was gonna be more than that. You know what I'm saying?
It feels like they're like from the trailer alone, it really feels like they're just kind of rehashing the original. And I think with that concept, you could there's a million and one things you could do with that concept rather than just go back and rehash the original. Like you can, there's so many other directions you could have gone with where like you could go with like, you know, so many other things. Like I heard years ago, there was rumors at one point that they were thinking of doing a movie about young Morpheus, and they were thinking about Michael B. Jordan playing Morpheus.
Who? Who?
Like that's just one direction.
Wait, who was supposed to play Morpheus?
Michael B. Jordan.
That would be kind of dope.
Yeah, like that.
I think Michael B. Jordan would body that role, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you know what threw me off too was the fact that, you know, when they announced this movie, they made a big deal a couple of years ago that they were making a new Matrix. They said, "Oh, Keanu Reeves is coming back. The actress who played Trinity, I'm forgetting her name. Sorry about that, but she was coming back." But no word. I mean, one of the original directors is back, but no word on Lawrence Fishburne.
Yo, and I got an issue. I was gonna say that because
that's my issue.
The trailer, and the promo pic for it, I'm like, who the fuck is this dude? You know what I'm saying?
Oh no, you've seen him before.
Who is he? Maybe I didn't recognize him.
I never, and I feel bad because a lot of people. He's a really dope actor, and I just cannot pronounce his name. The first name I believe is pronounced Yaya, but he's been in. He actually was in the new Candyman movie a couple months ago. He played Dr. Manhattan on the Watchmen HBO series.
Oh yeah.
Oh, him, that's the guy.
Good. He's good, dude. Yeah. He also played in The Get Down on Netflix.
Yeah.
He played Cadillac.
He was in that.
Yeah. Yo, he kind of he was an asshole in that movie, in that show, but he did his thing though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he did. He's always, like I said, he's a dope actor.
I didn't notice that was him that was playing Morpheus. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yo, you know,
but it's like, to me, it's like that. You can't, like, that was such an iconic role for Lawrence Fishburne. It's hard to see anybody else playing that role.
Facts. Yo, did you see him get down when they brought up Cadillac and the dude with the afro was like, fuck that motherfucking Cadillac?
That was a good show. Like,
yo, why did they take that off? Netflix canceled. I'm very upset about that. You know what I'm saying? Very upset about it because I was really excited to see where it was going to go after season 2, man. Really?
Yeah, I really did like it. It's like a lot of people slept on it.
Yeah, yo, Jimmy Smith did his thing too in that show. He kind of bodied that role, son.
Oh, Jimmy Smith is always like, he always comes into something and just kills it.
Jimmy Smith is my dude, man. They better give Jimmy Smith his flowers while he here. I've never heard of him winning like no type of award. Maybe he has, but dog, Jimmy Smith since the 90s, even when he was on Sons of Anarchy, he was doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Give that man his flowers now, brother. Now, brother. Yo, I'm gonna ask you some hip hop shit, right? Have you heard Snoop Dogg has a position over at Def Jam? Is it president? I think it's president. I could be wrong, but he's like kind of running things over there right now.
Yeah, he got that position a little while ago. I can't remember if it was last year But he's had that position for a little while now. I was a little surprised
Me
when
too,
he got it because I'm like, Snoop,
I just heard about that, and he's actually he's responsible for the Benny the Butcher deal.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So Benny the Butcher just got a deal with Def Jam. I'm actually really excited about that. I think that shit is what's up, and I think with Snoop Dogg going over to Def Jam, it could kind of change the narrative. And no disrespect to Def Jam. Def Jam was actually following me on social media one time years ago. They'll follow me, don't know what happened. Yeah, maybe I posted some wild shit. But yo, not for nothing. When Def Jam started following me, I was like, oh shit, I'm about to get a deal, B. Didn't happen. Didn't happen. But yo, real talk, I am excited about Benny the Butcher signing with Def Jam. You know what I'm saying? I feel like when dudes like Benny the Butcher get in position to win, we all win, because at the end of the day, real niggas need to stand up. And I'm not just saying that because of the street stuff. I think the music is dope. And I'm excited to see Snoop Dogg over at Def Jam running things. To me, I look at it like it's kind of one of them things where, like, you ever worked at a company and they just brung in some bum ass supervisor off the street? You know what I'm saying? Like, you ever work for $1 million company and they brung in a motherfucker from Wendy's and you looking like, dog, there's a thin line between fries and shakes. Like, this is not, you know what I'm saying? Ain't no burger flipping on this. What are you doing? So with them bringing in Snoop Dogg, yes, they brought in a dude that is actually an experienced artist that can, you know, bring artistry to the table. You know what I'm saying? So I think this is gonna be big for Def Jam. I think this is gonna work out. You know what I'm saying? I gotta feel it. I want to see Snoop do his thing over there, dog. Real talk. Now, I'm a Snoop fan. You know what I'm saying? You already know we both have like a love for West Coast music, so we're always talking about like West Coast shit. You know what I'm saying? And boom, boom, boom. And yo, on the topic of West Coast music, what I want your opinion. I don't feel like people are appreciating West Coast hip hop right now. You know what I'm saying?
No, I think and a lot of it has to do with just the sound of today. It's the South, man. The South is running things, that Southern sound, to where, you know what it is? Because the Southern sound is the dominant sound, so they're leading the wave. And even East Coast artists, like New York artists, don't sound like New York artists anymore. They kind of adapted they've adopted the Southern sound, with the exception of the cats that are making the drill sound.
Yeah.
But the West Coast, they're still them. Like, they didn't really ride that Southern wave. Like, they're just making music the way they want to make it. And I think that's why they kind of they get overlooked today.
Yo, like your boy Larry June said, moving, grooving, old school running.
Yeah, them dudes, Larry June is dope. Them dudes, like the West Coast dudes are talented. It's just they're doing their own thing, and I respect that.
But the West Coast is talented musically in general. Look at the music from our parents' era. A lot of that funk came from the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of sucks because I feel like society's just pushed them to the side. It's like they're like the dope cousin that everybody's afraid of. So he might steal all of our women. Let's put him to the side. We ain't invite him to the cookout. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of whack. Like, stop fronting on West Coast hip hop. You know, I love hip hop in general. We all love hip hop. I really, people be thinking I'm biased and let me put this out there, because I had somebody hit me like a month ago. Was like, oh, why you don't like South hip hop? I fucks with South hip hop heavy. I was rocking with South hip hop when I still lived on Crown Street, and nobody wanted to listen to it. Me and Devon used to listen to Master P, son. We've been rocking with it for years. My only issue is the masses and the powers that be are selectively only choosing to push that to the forefront. Like, I saw somebody posted an article the other day about, you know, how Dave East, Lloyd Banks, and Vado are making a super group. I think that's amazing. I'm ready for that. But I like to go through the comments. I don't comment, I just read. And I seen a lot of South fans and even blog sites from the South sitting there commenting and saying negative things about it. Listen, man, people got to understand, you like, and I'm of course I'm pro New York hip hop. I love hip hop. I don't care if the shit came from Mars tomorrow. If it's dope, I'm gonna fuck with it, right? But hip hop from back home, where we come from, it's on a whole higher level. And you have to kind of be, and I'm not calling people stupid or nothing, but this is real shit. You have to kind of be of a higher mental tone to really understand the sound. You know what I'm saying? There was a song with Vado and Dave East. Vado put out an album in 2019. He had a song called Politics. It took remember the old Jay-Z song, Politics as Usual, Harry Up.
Yeah, I love that song.
Sonny sampled it and bodied it. Did a video for it, bodied it. So if them two got that type of chemistry, I'm really anxious to see where Lloyd Banks is gonna fit in on that. I'm ready.
Yeah, Banks is still dope. Like, so yeah, that sounds like an interesting
Yeah,
combo.
absolutely, man. I feel like that Lloyd Banks album, Cody, was dope. He has some dope features on there. Yo, I'm kind of happy to see Lloyd Banks doing this thing now. I don't know if he's still under G Unit. I think he left a while back. Don't quote me.
Oh
on
yeah,
it.
no, he's not.
Okay, I'm glad to see him on his own, and I feel like by him having freedom, now he can kind of do more what he wants. Because even though when he was on G Unit, Banks was kind of doing his own thing. He was finding his own producers, from what I was told. He had built the studio in his crib, so he was already at that level of being self-sufficient. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now to have an artist, an experienced artist, of age that could kind of make the music that he want to make. These I don't think Votto's on. I don't think Votto has a deal. He used to be under Khaled. I don't think he's under Khaled anymore. I think he's independent. And I think Dave East is no longer under Def Jam. He was under Master Pillar one time. I think he's independent too. I don't quote me on that to the people listening, but these dudes have the freedom to make the kind of music that they want to make now. You know what I'm saying? Dog, let's rock out. I'm with it. I'm buying the album.
Yeah, I thought he was still under Def Jam, but I might be mistaken. I can't
I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I think that it's like I really want to see New York hip hop get its run back, because they had it for a long time. And even though they haven't fully been to the forefront, I don't think it's New York's fault. I think it's the powers that be that are pushing it. I really feel like that. And you got to blame the record labels too. These major record labels, they don't care about hip hop. I feel like they care more about country, bluegrass, and rock and roll more than they really care about hip hop. I don't think they fully care about hip hop. They just care about the money. And as of, I think, a year or two ago, hip hop has been at the forefront. It's $1 trillion industry. So they're going to push what's hot. They're going to push what sells. If they can, and I feel like they have found out how to put a triangle over the demographics of the South. I feel like the media and record labels have exploited the South. And I've said this before, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how you feel about that, but look at the bullshit, even on social media. Look at the bullshit that gets pushed to the forefront, algorithm-wise, from Southern entertainers, as far as hip hop, comedians, and things like that. And I'm gonna keep it real, not to go all woke brother on everybody. It kind of hurts me to see our Black people from the South get pushed to the forefront. They think it's winning because they're getting likes, but I feel like these companies are making us look stupid. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. You know, I don't know how everybody feels on that, but I feel like they're purposely pushing the fuckery to make our people look bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I think that is interesting. I've actually never heard that perspective before, but I do think it's interesting, and it's kind of like it is conversation worthy. But I also think, like, I think when it comes to New York, what the sad thing is, New York was, I think, about to have another run or a reinvigorated run, had it not been. And I think if may he rest in peace, Pop Smoke.
There you go. I said it.
Had he lived,
before.
I think
just
you
said
would
this
have
the other
seen
day.
like a resurgence of New York hip hop, because that drill sound, people are still using it. Like people, I mean, the Kanye album, there was a couple of beats on there that were like very drill inspired.
I noticed that.
Other artists are really going with drill. I think I heard a drill beat. I haven't listened to it in like about a week or so, but I think I heard a drill beat on the Rick Ross album, the newest Rick Ross album. So that sound is still there.
Fire,
and
son.
Yeah, I think that was really in the works. Like Pop Smoke was probably gonna be leading the charge on that.
He was. And you know what I liked about Pop Smoke? Yeah, sorry about that. I think we had a slight disconnection or whatever. We were talking about Pop Smoke and how he was on his way, but he was definitely on his way. You know what I felt like? You remember how we was like, I don't know if you ever listen to Hot 97. I would periodically listen to Hot 97. And I noticed, right? You know how I am when I be like picking up on shit. I noticed his song, Welcome to the Party, literally came out of nowhere. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it really felt like that. Mainly, I was kind of out of touch with like current music anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah,
literally out of nowhere. Now, shouts out to Pop Smoke. Shouts out, if anybody put money up behind his single, shouts out to y'all. And I'm gonna tell you why, because we need more of that. We need more of that. We need. There's a little bit of talk that a lot of artists that are established have put money behind a lot of these upcoming artists, and I think we need more of that. I would rather see an artist pop from another artist than a record label that's going to sit here, control and do X, Y, Z. Like, that shit is kind of whack. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's just my opinion on that. And if these artists are putting money behind these artists, do it not just for the return, do it because you would have wanted somebody to do that for you. And that's me. That's just how I look at it. I think it is such a great investment for artists that's already on and established to put on other artists, especially if they have talent and potential. You know what I'm saying? But one thing I want to touch base on, we just talked about this earlier, the versus shit, man. All right. You seen the statement that Jay-Z put out that nobody could do a versus with him. How do you feel about that?
I think, of course, Jay-Z, it was, it's nice to see him comment on it and say that it's Jay. It's classic Jay. Of course, he would say that. I do disagree. There are, I won't say a couple. Well, no, there are a couple, literally probably just a couple, maybe a little more who could stand on that stage with him.
Yeah. I think there are artists that could stand on that stage with him, but I don't really necessarily think those artists would win. I think by like between 8 and 12 songs, some of, not all of them, but I think some of them would gas out. I think they would. I think there are artists that can do it, that can stand on the stage with him, but I don't think they'll win, dog.
I think the only person from me who I would like, probably the one person I could see beating him, is Kanye.
Yo, that's wow.
I think Kanye could beat him.
I didn't think about that. I really didn't think about that. Yo, if you nitpick through Kanye's catalog, he just might be able to do it.
Kanye is the only rapper who has actually arguably 5 classic albums.
You know what? I saw people bringing up Eminem, right? Shouts out to Eminem. I think Eminem is one of the dopest artists to ever do it. I don't think he can necessarily beat Jay-Z in the verses because if we look at a verses, right? And this is nothing against Eminem. I think M can outspit damn near everybody, dog, right? But when we look at a verses, right? And if we look at catalog alone, M kind of had a couple in some of his albums. You know what I'm saying? If you look at some of M albums, and I'm not calling M albums whack, he does tend to have the albums start out great, first 3, 4, 5 songs, and they kind of go somewhat mediocre. You know what I'm saying?
The thing is, the unfortunate, because somebody said this recently. I think it was Charlemagne who said Eminem would get washed. I'm not an exact quote, but he said Eminem would get washed by a lot of people. I think more accurately, I don't think Eminem could beat any of his peers. Like, his peers are people like Jay, Nas, all the legends. Those are his peers. I don't think he could beat any of them.
That's a bold. I don't know.
Based on his catalog, I don't. And again, I love Eminem's music. I'm not like one of those. Like, I was kind of upset when certain people years ago were saying, "Oh, black people can't relate to you, can't connect to him." I was able to relate more to M's music than some of the other artists of his day.
Yeah,
as far as that anger and that outcast type vibe, and just that type of vibe he was on. I could relate to that more than dudes talking about their platinum chains and platinum watches.
Yeah, and I feel you on that, because we kind of come from the hood, so we ain't having platinum chains and platinum watches. Like, I feel you on that. Like, okay, here's my take on M. I think Eminem would verse for verse, not song for song, but verse for verse, wash a lot of artists. We already know that.
Yeah, lyrically, yeah.
I don't think he could compete with a Jay-Z, because now, all right, everybody says that Slim Shady LP was a classic. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I didn't like it. I didn't like M's music until the Marshall Mathers LP, which was the second LP.
A lot of people that's like kind of a minority thing, because most people it's Marshall Mathers that's the classic. Slim Shady LP was good for a debut album. It's not classic, but it was an okay album.
And the funny thing is, I actually, as an adult, like, they came out when I was in high school, I believe. As an adult, I went back to try to listen to it, and I still couldn't listen to it. So I remember being in high school, and one of my mans, God rest his soul, my homeboy Boris, let me listen to it. My homeboy B.I., when I first moved down here, B.I., it was me, B.I., and Boris. We used to all sit next to each other in computer class, and they was like a year older than me. And he passed the CD to Boris. Boris passes me the CD. I'm in class. I got the CD player. It's a CD player era. The 2 batteries and shit, son. Boom. Listen to the whole thing. They was like, "What you think?" I said, "Nah, shit is whack." And it was like, "Yo, what you mean is whack?" I said, I can't relate to that. Mind you, and for anybody listening, before you criticize me, really listen to what I'm saying to y'all. This was the Hard Knock Life era. This was the Ja Rule, when he just came off of Can I Get a What? When he dropped Holla Holla. This was the Rockefeller era when Memphis Bleak came out with Memphis Bleak is. This was the Rough Rider era when DMX dropped 2 albums in 1 year. So for me, being a young black dude, I think I had just cut the braids at that time. I could not listen to this dude talking about killing his wife and shit. And hi, my name is, when I'm listening, come on, like I couldn't fuck with it. You know what I'm saying? But when that Marshall Mathers LP came out, I was like, okay, he on to something. He on to something. I was rocking
absolutely.
with it. So you know what I'm saying? And I've had dudes want to argue with me about this shit. Fuck you, look away. Yo, I'm not arguing with you about Eminem first album. Shouts out to Eminem. Shouts out to Dr. Dre for recognizing the talent. It was your little the Hi My Name Is. It was great. It was on MTV. They had him on Carson Daly rapping with the dudes that looked like him. That was very great marketing. I think to this day is one of the most genius shits ever done. It just wasn't for me. You know what I'm saying? I just wasn't rocking with it. You know what I'm saying?
You know, for me, I first heard My Name Is on, it was Hot 97. It was one night. Funk Flex played it, and I assumed, like, I thought it was funny. You know, the lyrics were cool. It was something new and interesting. The beat was all kind of quirky or whatever, and I thought it was like, you know, just somebody making a goofy song. I honestly thought, like, well, I heard the song, and then I think maybe a couple of weeks later, I saw the video. Yeah, and I was like, just blown. I was shocked that he was white.
Word.
Because it'd been years since we've seen a successful white rapper. Or it's even a white rapper in general. And I just thought it was a black guy doing a goofy voice. But when I saw that he was white, I'm like, am I watching this? I was like, oh, maybe it's the guy's not in the video and he's just having a white actor portray him. But he was white. I was just blown away. I was like, what is this? And Dr. Dre was in the video. I'm like, because I didn't know anything about the behind the scene, like, did Dr. Dre sign him? I see Dr. Dre in the video, and I'm like, what is going on? Is this like what's happening here? Like, why is Dre in this white boy's video?
Dre is a fucking genius.
You know,
Dre is a fucking genius, man. Dre is a genius. I don't care what nobody says, such. Dre is a genius, man. Dre, listen, man. Dre knew what he was doing. Him and Jimmy Iovine knew what was up. Shouts out to Jimmy Iovine because Jimmy Iovine is from Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to him. So but nah, I wasn't impressed. But I think, okay, back to the whole versus shit, right? I think any rapper that does a versus with Jay-Z will gas out. I can't name not one artist, and I'm going to what you said about Kanye, other than Kanye, that has a solid album for every album they released. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at hip hop,
and that's Kanye. The thing. That's why. That's one of the reasons why everybody says Jay is the GOAT, because his catalog. You have the whole catalog, not just songs, just the whole catalog of albums.
Every Jay album hit. Yo, when I'm going back to what you said, bringing up the whole Kanye, I'm talking about hip hop Kanye. I'm not talking about the new Jesus is King Kanye. No, listen, I love God. I pray 3-4 times a day, right? But I'm purposely excluding those albums. You know what I'm saying?
Because you basically with Kanye, if you stop at My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, he can hang with Jay. I still think he could beat Jay.
Son, that album was stupid, son. That Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, son. The way it started with Nicki Minaj doing the English accent, I still listen to that album. My favorite song off that shit was Devil in a Blue Dress.
Yeah, that song. That's another timeless joint right there.
Son, that's timeless. And then when it goes to the bridge and you hear the keyboards and then Rick Ross bodied that shit.
Yeah, I didn't even expect when I first heard the album. I didn't expect to hear Ross come on it. Like, I heard the bridge, and then when Ross comes in, I'm like, oh shit, Ross is on this. Like, yeah.
Ross bodied that shit. That song should have won some type of award. Yo, that new Rick Ross album is fire, dog.
A lot of people don't like it. I'm like, I think it's cool. I don't know what they were expecting. There's a couple of songs on it that are not for me, but for the most part, I like it. I enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, I love the Pulitzer joint that Timbaland produced. I love the joint with Wale, Warm Words and the Cold War. Yo, it's for me, I like it because I could tell that I could hear growth, and I feel like Rick Ross is on a whole nother level than he was when he came out with Hustling. Yo, I got a theory, and me and one of my mans, my homeboy Gary from Long Island. If Gary was to listen to this shit right now, he probably might not. No, it wasn't. I think it was me, Gary, and my homeboy Danny. And I think it was all three of us, but I know guaranteed Danny. And me and Danny said the same shit because Danny had told somebody this shit. Ross got better after he went at 50 Cent. I don't care what nobody say. I feel like that shit made him step his game up.
I never thought about the timing of it, but he did get better later on. Like, I didn't like Ross when he first came out.
Listen to Ross's old shit, and then look at the timestamp of when he came out with that 50 Cent disc, and then go to his old shit, then back forward track and go to his music after that. He was on a whole nother wave. Lyrically, he was on a whole nother wave. Man. And I've always felt like he got better. I feel like something in him said, let me step my rap game up after this shit. And I can't even remember if 50 Cent dissed him. I don't think 50 Cent dropped a diss record. He did. It was like him. It was called like Tia Told Me shit when he was like referring to his Rick Ross baby mother or some shit like that.
Yeah, it may have been. I don't think it definitely wasn't memorable if he did.
It really wasn't. It was kind of whack. But on another note, I'm hearing 50 Cent saying he's dropping his last album or some shit like that.
I think I read that yesterday or something like that. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, he's not, you look at all the things he's doing on TV. People have called him
you don't need to
Dick
rap
Wolf of hip hop. Like how Dick Wolf had all the Law and Orders. Like they said, that's 50 Cent now. Like with all these shows.
Dick Wolf of hip hop.
Like he's really the Dick Wolf of hip hop. Like he's really doing his thing with these shows, man.
It's kind of true when you think about it, man. Like Son went from he had Power. He's got what? How many? He's got what? 2 spinoffs. He's got the Power Book 2, and he's got the Tommy Show coming up.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I'm looking forward to the Tommy Show, dog. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Tommy was my favorite character on Power, so I'm really looking forward to it too. Yeah.
Yo, listen, man. Funny thing about me, anytime there's like a urban show, and I hate to use the word urban, but anytime there's an urban show and y'all got a crazy white boy, I'm watching that shit because I know the crazy white boy, his character is gonna be written on some next shit. You know what I'm saying?
It's just like it was just. I mean, I like Tommy was my guy. I'm looking forward to his show. It's just I'm glad that the spinoffs are actually pretty entertaining, and it kind of gets for a little bit the bad taste out of my mouth for the final season of Power because there was so many things in that final season that just didn't work, and it just was just laughable and just awful. Like even some of the stuff they did with Tommy, like one of the scenes I always laugh at and just hate was just I think it's the dumbest scene. And I mean, it's debatable to some people probably, but I think it's the dumbest scene in the whole series. Where I don't know if you remember the scene where in the episode where Tommy and Ghost go to kill the lawyer Sachs.
Yeah,
they're talking outside, like hyped up to kill him. They get in the apartment, and for some reason, Ghost changes his mind, and he's just like, Tommy's in psycho mode, ready to do it, and then Ghost just looks at Tommy and is like, "Tommy, you owe me a favor, remember?" And it's like that works. That works, and it just they just decide not to kill him. And then he looked at go back and watch the episode. This really happened. And then he looked at Sachs and said, "Now you owe me a favor." Like it just I don't know what was happening. Like it was just like one of those scenes. I had to watch that episode 3 times, and I still could not understand why they didn't kill him.
Oh man, yo, the funny shit about that, right? When they ended Actual Power, Tommy was supposed to be going to Cali because they played the fucking Dr. Dre Still DRE song at the end of the shit.
Yeah.
And he ended now on the previews now, they're showing that he's going to Chicago, which I think will work better for him to go to Chicago than go to LA. Because
I'm not the location that doesn't bother me. I did notice that it was a switch because I do remember they specifically said he was going to Cali, and it would have been interesting because we don't have any shows, at least not to my, other than Snowfall, and that takes place in like the 80s. Still, where we don't have any modern day crime LA shows or California shows. Well, with the exception of I don't know if you watched the spinoff of Sons of Anarchy, Mayans. Like,
no,
that's
I didn't watch it. I had to check that shit out though, man.
Mayans is good. Like,
it's
a little. I like that the fact it's a spinoff from Sons of Anarchy. It's about the Mexican biker gang, one of their chapters, and it's different from Sons of Anarchy enough to where it does its own thing. Like it's not even the tone of it is a little different. From Sons of Anarchy.
Okay,
but it's a good show. I think you like it.
How many seasons are they on that now?
They finished their 3rd season actually earlier this year.
So binge watch like
I think next year is season 4 probably.
Yo, I miss Sons of Anarchy, son. Like that was my shit, son.
Oh, I missed that show so much. That was my fucking show.
That was my show, son. Like they had no chill on that shit. There was no chill on that show, man. That shit shows like Sons of Anarchy. I feel like of our generation now, of this time period now, I feel like as far as TV shows, I feel like Sons of Anarchy and Breaking Bad was like the top 1 and 1 or 1 and 2. I can't really choose which one was better, but I feel like no other show of right now or during that time period could fuck with it. On TV, regular TV. You know what I'm saying? That I'm excluding like cable channels and shit like that, like
Oh
HBO.
yeah, that was the thing, because they like Sons of Anarchy was on FX, and they really pushed the envelope with not just the violence, but the language. There was
Everything,
one
the
episode
language, the
in the
sex
first
scene,
season.
it was wild.
I think it was the first episode where the mother of the main character, Jax, who is actually Peggy Bundy.
Yeah.
Katie Seagal is her real name. She walks into his room at the motorcycle clubhouse. She walks into his room and she says, "Oh, smells like socks and pussy in here." I'm like, did she just say pussy on TV? Like, I did not know they could get away with saying pussy on TV at that point. And I'm like, this is not HBO or Showtime. I'm like,
they
FX,
really pushed
and I'm like,
the narrative, yo.
pussy on FX. Like, it was crazy.
Yo, they pushed the narrative of that shit. Yo, remember the scene where she was about to fuck Teague and he turns her around and bends her over and is about to blow her back out and he's like, nah, I can't fuck it. That's my man's wife. Yo, that shit was something.
Yeah, I remember that.
They was really going in. Yo, then they had the sex scene with him and the tranny dude. They kind of, I'm pretty sure they got fined for a lot of that shit.
I don't know. I think they kind of I think they were able, because I know at a certain time, it came on at like 10 o'clock at night. And that's apparently, I didn't find that out till much later, that's like part of the laws where after 10 o'clock, you can get away with certain things.
I didn't know that. I was like,
that's how they were able to do it. Like, there's certain rules that a lot of people don't know about on TV. Because it's actually, matter of fact, it was when I heard about it from years earlier on South Park. When they did an episode, South Park used to come on at 10 o'clock, and they did an episode where the big deal was they were going to say the word shit on television, on television. And within the show, there was a popular TV show, because it was kind of playing off of years earlier when NYPD Blue did it, where they said shit on Channel 7. So it was a big deal where they did it. So the thing is, the Comedy Central executives said, like, when they told them they were going to do it, Comedy Central said, okay, sure, you can say it. Comedy Central had no idea that South Park was going to say it 157 times. Like, the whole episode, they put a counter at the bottom, like a meter to show how many times. So each time they said it, they would put the meter up. And it's like, it was 157 times, maybe even more, that they said it. And the Comedy Central, they did a documentary, and the Comedy Central executives were like, yeah, we said they could say it, but we really thought it was just going to be one time, like NYPD Blue. But yeah, they really took advantage of that rule.
Yo, shouts out to the adult cartoons, because we need them shits to get through life, man. I'm sorry. I from me being a kid watching Beavis and Butthead, I knew as an adult when these adult cartoons was gonna come out, I was gonna rock with them heavy. It's good for my mental health. You know
same.
Real talk. Yo, Beavis and Butthead pushed the narrative back in the day. I think that was, as far as cartoon wise, I think that was one of the first cartoons to kind of really go there before everything else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they really were, but they were responsible for that. I remember it was a big deal before, like, growing up in we didn't have the building we lived in. We didn't have cable yet, so I only heard about it from kids at school, and I was just like, the way they would talk about it, I didn't think it was real. I'm like, y'all full of shit, y'all some lying asses. And then I think it was you. Matter of fact, it was you, your mom. Like, rest in peace on Diane. Your mom you guys had it. Like, so your moms would record episodes for me and my brother, and then she'd bring the tape over, and we watched it for the first time, and we were just like looking at each other like, holy shit. And my dad was just like, he's sitting on the couch watching with us, and he's like, I think at that point he realized something was wrong with his sons, because we were just like, we were laughing our heads off, and he's just sitting there like, yo she was I created two kids that like this shit. Like, that is like, I can't imagine what was going on in his head.
Yeah. Yo, the only episode I recall her getting mad and not liking was the one when they couldn't piss, and then they pissed and it was like a flood. Remember that? And she was like, turn it off. I was like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? Like, you watched this with me. You know what I'm saying? Yo, Beavis and Butthead has a shit. Yo, you know what cartoon was dope? And it didn't really get a lot of publicity. It came on MTV. It was called Drawing Together, where they had like the fake gay Superman, and they had like the Betty Boop. She was in black and white and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
son. That cartoon was on some next shit, and I didn't even know nothing about it until like the first night it premiered. And when the cartoon was like, it was like a superhero real world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. It was that was a dope concept. Like, a lot of people kind of slept on it. I think it has like a cult following now. Like, I see memes and stuff on social media every now and then that reference it. So yeah, I did watch it a little bit. Yeah, it was funny.
That was my shit, yo. That was my shit. I forgot who did the voice of the black girl, because she was funny as shit, yo.
Oh, the woman from, it was Deborah Morgan from Mad TV.
Okay, yeah. She was funny as shit, man. Funny as shit, man. I love how they had the dude that was like Link from Zelda and shit. You know, him. Yo, that was a very creative ass cartoon. I would love to see that shit get rebooted today, because right now in 2021, everything, the narrative is pushed way further. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So imagine if they push that shit now and that shit came out today, son. It would be, we don't even know what type of fuckery would be on it. And I am 100% here for it. I'm dead ass, man. But yeah, I feel like those cartoons was great for our mental health. Yo, and I actually went on HBO Max. Was it HBO Max or Disney? One of them shits. And I actually started watching newer episodes of The Simpsons. Because I used to be whatever the latest episode is, I used to be a really big Simpsons fan. But then it's kind of like it kind of went flat for a minute. You know what I'm saying? If that makes any sense. And maybe it wasn't them just going flat, but so many good adult cartoons was coming out. I couldn't fuck with the Simpsons no more. Like Family Guy was hitting. Family Guy was hitting, dog.
Yeah, Family Guy still hits.
Yeah, Family Guy was hitting. Yo, I wish they put out new episodes of the Cleveland Show.
Yo, I didn't like the idea of the Cleveland Show. I was like, yo, this character is so uninteresting. But then it was one day, it was while we were working from home during the quarantine. And I just had stuff on TV randomly just, to pass the time. Yeah. And they had like a marathon of the Cleveland Show. I forget what season it was, but I was like, yo, some of those episodes were actually fire. Like, I slept on it when it first aired. But yeah, it was kind of cool.
Yo, my favorite episode is when the little boy Rollo hurt himself. He was like, I'm gonna bleed out. And that little nigga was bleeding and shit on the floor. It's funny as hell, son. Funny as hell, man. Hey, yo, I think we in our family, we all have like a weird sense of humor. So I think that shit is genetic. You know what I'm saying? I think it's genetic. I remember when my son was little, I picked him up from school one day. And so they're 3 years apart. Fucking showed me, I think Chase was like in kindergarten, Christian was like in the third grade or some shit. Or whatever, fourth grade, whatever fucking numbers, 3 years apart. But third grade, bang, boom. I'm in my living room and they go on YouTube on the TV. They was like, yo, you want to see this video? It's about apple juice. I'm like, why you showing me a video about apple juice? Them little niggas, it was a fucking song called Dixon Cider. You feel what I'm saying? But the dude in the video had like a jug of juice, and even though it was like he was offering chicks apple juice, Dixon Cider, Dixon, but he meant dicks inside of her. So my little son at the time, he was like, you get it? I'm like, yo, turn this shit off. Like, yo, turn this off. Because I feel like an irresponsible parent. But later on that night when they went to sleep, I went back and watched the video and was laughing my ass off. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, damn, dog, the apple don't fall too far from the tree. Yo, it was bad. I was like, yo, oh my God, what have I done to these little dudes, yo? But this, I ain't no fronts, and the shit's funny as hell, son. Like, I was driving them to school the next day, humming the shit in my head. Like, I couldn't hum it out loud, but it was in my head, you know what I'm saying? But yo, about to end the show, man. Episode 46 of the Life of Produk Podcast. It's been Two Cousins Part 2. I appreciate you. We're probably gonna do about 10 of these shit, so y'all better get ready. We're gonna push the narrative. Yeah. Matter of fact, next time when I come back to Brooklyn and I'm in the city, I'm gonna bring the camera equipment, I'm gonna bring the lights, and we're gonna do this shit on fucking camera for all of y'all. We're gonna rock it. I'm out, baby. Yeah.
You are now listening to the Life of Produk Podcast.